Hey everybody, it's Diana. Today I'm making a box pop-up card using Mama Elephant's bookworm and Hippity Hop stamp sets. I'm going about this card in a slightly different way. I took inspiration from a card done by kiwi.concepts posted on Instagram. I'll have that linked below to the card that I took inspiration from. I really like how she did the background, so I decided that I was going to do something similar for all my decorative panels on my box. So this piece of cardstock that I have here in front of me will be the panel on the interior of my box pop-up card. It's cut to 5 and 1 3/4, and I'm just stamping the stack of books with Lawn Fawn Walnut ink. I want to make it look like there's lots of stacks of books, so I cut a mask out of a scrap piece of paper, and you can see I'm using purple tape to hold it in place while I'm stamping the other books. I'm using distress inks, antique linen, gathered twigs, and ground espresso, and I'm just doing some simple ink blending. I'm starting with gathered twigs, and I'm going all around the outer edge. Then I'll be going in with some antique linen for the center. Then I'll grab my ground espresso and ink blend along the outer edge, and then back again with my gathered twigs to make the colors blend more evenly. I'm not blending the bottom third of this panel because you won't be able to see it anyways in the finished box card. For my side panels, I'm doing the same thing. I cut out 6 pieces of cardstock that are 2 1/4 by 1 3/4, and I'm just stamping and coloring them in the same way. I should mention that I'm not showing how I assemble my box card base, so if you're new to box cards, you can check out my tutorial on how to assemble a box card base that'll appear in the top right corner. I have 5 slats in my box to start, and my outside bottom decorative panels are from Recollections Fly Me Away paper pad. I'm not showing a lot of coloring in this video, just the dog with the book. If you're interested in the Copic colors I used on this card, you can check out my corresponding blog post below. I'll have them all listed there. I don't do anything special with my coloring, I just start with a dark color and blend out with a lighter color. So for the dog, I start with E47 and I use it on the base of the ears, the sides of the head, and the bottom of his paws. And then I blend it out with E43. I was a little heavy-handed and it does bleed through the lines because I'm using cheap cardstock right now, but that's okay. You'll see later how I fix it. I'm using E41 for his snout and then 100 for the tip of his nose. For the book, I'm using YG09 to start along the spine of the book, and then I blend out with YG06. Now this is how I fix the bleeding. I'm taking a colorless blender and I'm basically just pushing the ink back that bled over the lines. I wanted the glasses to stand out a bit, so I'm using my Spectrum Noir Clear Overlay brush pen on them to make them sparkle and then filling them in with some glossy accents. I almost forgot the highlight on the nose, so I'm just using a white gel pen and adding a dot on the tip of the nose and setting the whole thing aside to dry. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be cute if the bunnies from Hippity Hop were terrorizing a library? Let's make it happen. So my original thought was it to look something like this, but it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted, and you'll see as the card kind of comes together, there wasn't enough space for everything. So my box card base is already made. I'm just cutting down some pieces of scrap cardstock to make a few tabs. I'm starting with a row of books, and I'm adhering a tab to its right side and taping it into the left side of my third slot. I'm taking another row of books and temporarily adhering it to the back of my scene with some low-tack tape. I'm not for sure I want it there yet, so I just don't want to glue it down. I'm slowly starting to build my scene. I'm gluing a bunny to the right side of my books and then gluing a sleeping cat to another stack of books. I'm adhering 3 stacks of books into my card, one to the left side of my 5th slot, another one to the right side of my 2nd slot, and one with the sleeping cat to the middle of my 4th slot. Taking another stack of books, and I'm adhering a piece of acetate to the right side and adhering it to the left side of my first slot. I'm just adding another bunny to the left side of my last book stack and another bunny sitting on top of the second slot book stack. Man, that's really hard to say. This bunny is my favorite one out of the stamp set. I adhered the dog onto an acetate tab and I taped him to the front of my box card. Then I'll do the same to another bunny, except I position him in a way that it looks like he's running on top of the books on the third slot. I'm gluing that row of books down to the back of my scene that I originally temporarily adhered, and I'm adding a bunny on top. Now I'm taking 5 individual books, I'm adding them onto strips of acetate, and I'm adhering them into my card. I have one on the front of my scene of my box card, one on the left side of my second slot, one on the right side of my third slot, one on the left side of my fourth slot, and one on the right side of my fifth slot. I also add a book to the left side of my second slot at the base of the acetate. Now for the sentiment. I'm using Mama Elephant's Ella and Friends stamp set, and I'm stamping the sentiment, "Friends make everything so much better," in VersaFine, and then I'll be heat embossing with Wild Clear Gloss embossing powder and adhering it onto my front panel. Flipping the card over, I'm adhering a book with my favorite bunny from Hippity Hop in the bottom left corner to add a little decorative element to the writing space. So that finishes up my card. I hope you guys like this card and it gives you some ideas for your future card making projects. If you guys like this video and you want to see more like it, please thumbs up and subscribe to let me know. Thanks so much for watching!